The USSpine facet fixation system can be used in either an open or less invasive approach. This presentation demonstrates an open procedure. With the patient under general anesthesia and in a lordotic prone position, mark the midline over the L4 spinous process using fluoroscopy as an aid. Make a small midline incision over the L4 spinous process. If necessary, the spinous process of L4 can be removed while preserving the lamina structures. Access the disc space by first completing a 12 mm diameter laminotomy with a high-speed burr or Kerrison rongeur. Once the disc is accessed, a standard decompression and discectomy is performed. A straight trial is used to achieve proper disc space height. Once desired height is achieved and the cage cavity is packed with graft material, the cage is introduced to the disc space until the trailing end is even with the posterior wall of the vertebral body. The curved tamp interfaces with the fishtail end to manipulate the leading end of the cage across the midline. The cage reaches its final position when the straight tamp pushes the trailing end anteriorly against the annulus. Once the cage is in place, further graft material is introduced to the disc space to promote bony fusion. Insert the handpiece assembly into position over the L4-L5 facet joint. Once over the joint, pull back slightly in order to secure the distal locking washer onto the surface of the superior facet. Confirm the position of the implant with fluoroscopy. If necessary, the roll controller at the top of the handpiece can be used to manipulate the washer angle for proper seating on the facet surface. For best results, be sure to position the washers deep into the joint across the thickest portion of bone. Squeeze the trigger of the handpiece to compress the joint and lock both of the washers onto the facet joint surfaces. With the handpiece clamped into position, determine the proper facet bolt length by reading from the color-coded measurement grid. Each color or number denotes a different length of facet bolt, but in cases of overlap, one should choose the shorter or distal color or number. To facilitate the angle of approach, an optional K-drill may be used. Attach the ratchet handle to the proximal end of the K-drill and ratchet the K-drill clockwise, confirming depth and trajectory via fluoroscopy. Select the appropriate driver by matching the color or length indicated on the outer package of the driver with the color or measurement taken from the handpiece. To connect the driver to the handpiece, slide the screw end of the assembly into the handpiece through the open proximal end. Turn the driver or optional ratchet handle to advance the bolt through the joint into the distal locking washer. Advance the bolt until you are unable to ratchet any further. The driver is engineered such that it cannot overdrive the screw length. To remove the handpiece, use 3 easy steps. First, disengage the bolt by rotating the retainer counterclockwise until it spins freely. Second, pull back on the clamp release. Lastly, extend 1 or 2 fingers down the barrel of the gun and apply upward pressure while simultaneously axially rotating the handpiece. Confirm the implant position and fixation via fluoroscopy. Repeat these steps for the contralateral L4-L5 facet joint. The facet fixation system can be used on additional levels as deemed necessary.